Diana coming to you from Askew Acres here in my kitchen in Southeast Texas. I am a director with Pampered Chef and my passion is meal prep, meal planning, meal prep. And today I'd like to show you a couple of things as I prep a few meals for my family. It's actually 5 different recipes or meals. It's actually going to make about 8 because some of them are double batched. So to start, meal prep, meal planning doesn't have to be a long drawn out all day affair. It can be as simple as picking a few recipes and making a list. Checking to see what you have on hand and what you need to add to it. So I've kind of made it, a habit, and I write down or add to or tell Alexa or tell Siri to add to my note and keep that grocery list going as I find recipes or as I see things that might freeze well. So I do like to cook from scratch, but I also like quick and easy on those days that I just don't have time. So that's where the freezer meals come in handy. And so that's what I'm gonna do today. The menu this week is soup, stews, and chili. I mean, we're finally getting some winter weather here in Southeast Texas. So if you'll bear with me, I think I've got a lot of the prep work done ahead, the pre-prep prep. So maybe this won't take too long, but I will be happy to share the recipes with you. If you're on Facebook, find my meal prep group. It's Meal Prep 101 with the Pampered Chef at Askew Acres. You can go there and look. And this, of course, is going to be on my YouTube channel. Still kind of getting used to that, but I will share it into several parties. So if you're in a Facebook party and you're watching this video, welcome. I am sure that your friend appreciates the fact that you're here. Katie, I appreciate you hosting. She is home with COVID right now. Today is January the 8th, 2021. Great way to start out the year, right, Katie? And I hate that she's sick, but she said, why not? Let's kill some time by doing a Facebook Pampered Chef meal prep party. So, we also have, let's see, Courtney's doing a party, Mary is doing a party. Thank you, and thank you to their guests for being here as well. See, I know I have somebody else, Bridget. Bridget is over in Tomball. She's also doing a party, and I appreciate y'all all being here and tuning in. Shout out to Miss Clara Miller, because I know she's watching on YouTube. I haven't been on in so long, so I know you guys are missing me, right? Okay, this very first one is cheesy ham and potato soup. And I just emptied a bag of the Southern style or cubed hash browns. They're frozen. I started with 12 ounces of cubed ham, and you can buy it cubed or you can just cube it up yourself. We had some leftover ham. I bought several while they were on sale for the holidays. So we've been working on one that I had in the freezer, and I just cubed that up into little cubes. So to start with, when you're doing a freezer meal in a Ziploc, you want to look for the double zip, and you'll see that I do have, some things aren't that big of a deal if you use brand name or not, but I do use Ziploc. It doesn't matter. It could be hefty or it could be Glad or whatever, but it has to have the double zippers, not the slidey thing, but you're looking for the double zippers. If you fold the zipper down, you're less likely to get all the gunk in the zipper. It's easier to close when you're ready to close it. Now they have things on Amazon, I think I've seen them at Walmart, where it'll hold little things that'll hold your bag up for you, but you can just set it in a bowl, fold it down, and now your bag is stable. So I've got my recipes over here on the side so I can resort back to them. Some of these I've made so much I have them memorized, but others, I have to check back. So this, let's see. We also need a 8-ounce block of cheddar cheese. I've already got that shredded here. We have the ham, we have the frozen hash browns. All in with the ham, we're gonna add, looks like the cheese is gonna, no, the cheese is gonna go in here too. We're gonna add a couple of seasonings. We are gonna add 3 onion rub. Now I've done this so often that we finally figured out that a tablespoon is just a lid full. When I do workshops, there's so many of us reaching and grabbing for the tablespoon measuring utensils that we finally figured out that the lid is a tablespoonful, and that makes it easy to measure and dump in our bag. So some people call these dump meals because on cook day, all I'm gonna do is dump it in the crock pot, actually the rock crock, and set it into the warmer so that it acts as a crock pot. Okay, I'm also gonna need celery. It's calling for 7 stalks. 2 stalks, I'm sorry, I'm gonna use the celery for other things. 2 stalks of celery, and I've already washed my celery and cleaned it. And all I'm gonna do is chop it. Now, I have the food chopper handy, it's right here beside me. But I don't know, some things I just rather chunk. You know, like, I like celery and I like that chunk crunch. Of course, after it cooks all day, it's not gonna be crunchy. Now, if you have those kids or that husband that thinks they don't like celery, throw it in the food processor or food chopper and get that pulverized so they won't even know that it's in there. You can also use a tablespoon of celery salt. That will make it a little bit saltier. Okay, and now we're gonna add, well, it's like 3 tablespoons of flour. I already have that measured out as well. Okay, the wind's blowing a lot here, and it just blew the door closed. It wasn't a ghost, it was the wind. Okay, so as we get this going, I'm just gonna kind of mix it up in the bag. Sprinkle that down in there. And then add the cheese on top. Make sure we're putting it in the same bag. Open the bag that contains, yep. Now when you're meal prepping, if you're doing meals that have both meat and veggies in it, you know you shouldn't cross-contaminate. So what you want to do is go through and prepare. You see behind me here, I have all of the bags, all of the meat already bagged. So I'm not touching the meat. I've cleaned this completely and then done my veggies. Now, a lot of the times you're putting the veggies in on top of the meat, but you're not going from meat to veggie to meat to veggie to utensil back to the meat. You don't want to do that. You keep all of that separate. Now, on cook day, I am already going to have the rest of the directions handy because I'm going to bag them with the meal. Now, of course, you want a double bag, you want a label, and you want a date. That's important because sometimes when you get all this in the freezer, it all looks the same. All right, so there's our first meal. On cook day, we'll have a few other things to add, and my instruction paper tells me what else I need to add on cook day. Into the freezer it goes. 1 meal complete, and most likely that's supper and lunch for the next day. Okay, next up, chicken noodle soup. Now this makes a lot, so we separated it also into 2 bags. Chicken noodle. I already have a pound of chicken. Actually, it's a little over a pound in each bag. I live with carnivores, lots of meat. They like lots of meat. All right, in this, we're gonna add, let's see, the bag contains the chicken. We're gonna add everything into this 1 bag. So we're gonna do all-purpose dill. It looks like a tablespoon in each bag. Tablespoon and a half. So let's do, I do a lot of eyeballing. It makes some of my friends crazy. And I'm probably going to post this in the meal prep group later, so I know that Christy is watching, and I love to give her a hard time because she likes exact measurements. I'm the exact opposite. Looks good. Maybe a little bit more. Sprinkle here, a little bit there. About a tablespoon and a half in each bag. Italian seasoning also. Now, I will tell you, I got all of these ingredients at H-E-B. The chicken breast was a family pack, so it was $1.99 a pound. Now beef, I'm sure if you've been shopping, let me make sure, yep. If you've been shopping lately, you know the beef is gone through the roof. So the stew meat that I'm using today and the ground chuck that I'm using today was $7 and $8 a pound. So I'm going to show you some easy ways to stretch that as well. So all of my ingredients for what we're going to end up with 8 meals, I believe, maybe 9. All of my ingredients were less than $100, and that's including the pantry items, the seasonings and whatnot. Okay, next we have celery cut into slices and carrots also cut into slices. So 3 carrots, 3 stalks of celery. So I'm just gonna half and half towards each one. Now, if you can see this, I'm sure you can, this is our flexible cutting mat. So I've already got my carrots, these carrots peeled. Just gonna slice them and then half them between the bags. I'm using our chef's knife. This thing used to really scare me, but I'm getting better and it's not quite so scary. Just like anything else, the more you use it, the more practice you get, the better you get at it. But it is kind of scary. I mean, check that out. Now our forge cutlery is lifetime guaranteed. I know several of you have a piece. I know that Courtney's working towards it. That's what she wants to get for her party, for hosting. So she's gonna get it discounted. She may even get it free depending on her sales. And then the last one, you noticed when I'm using my knife, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm using the pinch grip. A lot of times before I started with Pampered Chef, I used my knife like this. So pay attention to where you put your finger. If you, whenever you're using the knives at your house, pay attention to where you put your finger. I'm putting mine, I'm pinching the blade part and I'm wrapping these other fingers around the handle. Now it's just one extension from elbow to the tip of the knife. And it's so much easier to control, so much more comfortable in my hand, and it takes no time to just chop through that carrot or anything that you're chopping. And again, just eyeballing it half and half. And now for the celery, 3 stalks. Same thing. Now this wants just to matchstick it, but I am going to do the same thing. Chop right through it, and then half in one bag and half in the other. We have wonderful slicing, dicing gadgets, and I'll pull out whenever we start chopping onions. I'm going to pull out one of those because onions get to me. But if I'm doing a small job like that, just a couple of stalks of celery, I just reach for the knife. Half in one bag, half in the other. All right, now for our onions, speaking of onions, we need 1 large onion, and we are going to cut into quarters. Oh, well, this one doesn't have to be chopped either, so we're just going to cut it into quarters. This onion, put half of it in one and half of it in the other. Now, I'll tell you a secret. I don't know if you know this. It's got to be some chemistry science, a little lesson. But, you know, anytime you handle onions or garlic, you get that smell on your fingers. Easiest way to get the smell off your fingers, wash and then run your hands on your faucet. Most faucets are made of stainless. It will absolutely take away that onion or garlic smell. So wash first, because you don't want your faucet to be sticky with onion juice. Give it a wash, give it a rinse. No onion smell. It's amazing. You guys have to try it if you've never tried it before. All right, same thing. We're going to need, use out as much air as possible. Roll it up. Put it in the second freezer bag. I'm actually going to put both of these into one bag. And then on cook day, of course, you're going to add your chicken broth. Roll this up. Into the bag it goes, along with the cook day instructions. Chicken noodle soup. Now the reason I put it into a separate bag before I slide it down in here is when it's thawing out, or sometimes when it's freezing, the condensation against the paper will cause your paper to just mess up your ink and make your ink run, and you can't read it. So be sure, trial and error, I tell you. A lot of things I can tell you how not to do. Slowly but surely getting the hang of a lot of this stuff. Okay, savory vegetable beef soup. Now for this, we need one more carrot. I may have put too many carrots in the other one, so I do have one more to do here. So it's a big carrot, so we're gonna half this between the two. Okay, into the bags, and this is just regular stew meat. I used my scale to weigh it out to be sure I got a half of a pound and a half in each bag. So a pound and a half of stew meat halved. I need a tablespoon of Italian, and I'm gonna put half in one bag, half in the other bag. This is savory beef vegetable soup. This is one of my favorites. I love it. Okay, and garlic and herb, half in one. And you'll notice that I'm not putting any salt in these. I usually just let my family salt at the table, depending on what it is. You know, some things you need to really cook salt in, or it seems like you never get it salty enough. Rice being one of them. But, and a lot of our seasonings are salt-free, and most of them have just very little, let's see, Asian, salt in them, but enough that, I mean, there's gonna be enough flavor in this. I really don't think they're gonna need the salt. And if they do, they can salt it at the table. It's our Asian. And 3 onion. This is a very popular rub. Half in one, half in the other. Okay, carrots. These are going to be chopped with the food chopper, so we want these chopped all the way down. Oh no, it says it's okay to leave as is if you're using baby carrots. So we're not going to chop these all the way down. Again, I like a little bit of a chunk in my veggies. Now, another way to use these carrots, I mentioned how expensive ground chuck, ground beef is right now. When the kids were little, you know, I would fortify anything I did with ground beef with carrots. Just chop those up, or really any veggie you have on hand. Just chop them up. My son thinks since I'm on the video, I'm not gonna notice that he's walking through the house with shoes on. But I noticed. Chop these. They were his good shoes, I have to give him that. Half in one bag, half in the other. And you're probably thinking, that's not very many carrots, Diana. We're gonna put so much other stuff in here. Love it. Okay, now we need celery. Also 2 stalks of celery. This is our last 2. Hopefully this is all we'll need. Chop these down. You notice I'm not wiping down this mat in between. It's because I'm using the same vegetables. So there's really no need. And this is a new mat. This is not the one that I used to process the meat. And when we do those, when we do the workshops, the freezer meal workshops, everybody that comes to the workshop already has their meat pre-packaged. So we don't handle any meats at the workshops. Put this away. Okay. Now we need green beans. We're gonna drain. I've got 2 cans of green beans. We'll put 1 in each. Gonna drain them real quick. Let me grab the can opener. I don't know if you've seen it. If you have not seen our smooth edge can opener, most of you probably have it. to activate it, to get it to work, you put it on the can until it stops. Can you see that? On the can until it stops. I'm laying it flat on the can, and once I turn it, it's got the can. As I turn it around, I'm going to turn it all the way around until I feel it give just a little bit. I know it's all the way around, and then I'll turn it back, and it'll loosen. There's a little beak, just a little pinchy thing. Let's lift it right off. Now, what it does is it breaks the seal on the can rather than cuts the seal on the can, which means whatever's on top of the can stays on top of the can. The lid doesn't drop down in the juices, so none of that, you know, let's not even think about what might have crawled across the top of the can in the factory and whatnot. And here you'll see that I'm using our Easy Read colander measure. I love this because it'll fit over in the middle of my sink. So if I'm rinsing black beans or something like that, I can just leave it there and move on to something else while it drains. Right now I'm using the smallest of our mixing bowls. These are glass mixing bowls. It comes in a set of 3. Every can of green beans around and back. Take it to the sink. Drop some of it in the sink to give it a quick rinse. Oh yeah, I just washed my sink. And in the other bag. So a little stem from the green bean, I'll take that out. Okay, what else? This back in the bowl. Got that out, I'm gonna use that bowl to hold that bag. A little more stability. Okay, we also need 2 bags of corn. 2 bags, 2 cans. I guess if you have some fresh corn in the freezer, you can use 2 bags. Same thing. Get this off. Who has our smooth edge can opener? Now the older ones actually have handles that you close. So it might look a little bit different than the one you have. But let me know, put it in the comments if you have our smooth edge can opener. And tell me if you love it. It is a love/hate relationship. You either love it or you hate it. I have run across a couple of people that just do not like it. Corn. One in each bag. I don't know where we are on time. I didn't look at my watch when we started. But I know before I began the video, I had about 20 minutes in of prepping the meat and getting everything put together and set out. And your corn in the other bag. I love soup. I can eat it year round, but some people want to wait until the cold weather to have some soup. Okay, now our diced tomatoes. One can. So we're going to separate the 1 can of tomatoes and then 1 can of tomato sauce between the 2 bags. Now this is going to be undrained, so we want the tomato juice in our bags. And these are just petite diced. You could find Mexican style or Italian style, or whatever your preference. It's got, like I say, there's so much flavor in those seasonings, rubs we added. I don't think I'll need any extra. And then the smaller can of tomato sauce. This is just an 8 ounce. And I'm gonna half it between the two. Bags. And set this to the side. Next we have cream of mushroom soup. No, it sounds like kind of a weird combination, but y'all, it's really good. I guess the savory, definitely savory veggie beef soup. Now this is just a pop top, so I won't need my can opener. However, we'll need a little scraper. Our mini mix-in scraper is the perfect size for these little 10-ounce cans to make sure you get all of the goodness out without cutting the top of your spatula. How many of you have those? I know I have a big Pampered Chef one before we brought this one out that I used to cut all the time. These little pop top would cut to the side when I was trying to empty the can. But this fits in perfectly. Very handy. I use this all the time in the kitchen. Matter of fact, I have a couple of them. This off. That's the mini mix-in scraper. Set this over to the side. See, I have those cans around my drain because I'm going to give them a rinse before I put them in the trash. Okay, now kneading this all the way down. Make sure we don't need, nope, no onions. That's everything. I know it doesn't look pretty, but I'm telling y'all, this is so good. I believe we're gonna add some beef broth to this on cook day. And of course the beef itself is gonna make it yummy. Let's see, taco soup, we have savory beef. Try to get both of these in the same bag. Sure, I don't remember if they fit or not. Usually, I'll go ahead and put one of these in the pot. Yeah, it's gonna fit. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder, but it's kind of yucky here today at the front blowing in overnight tonight, I believe. Maybe tomorrow. It's just one of those miserable days where probably soup would be great. But why not meal prep? Can't get outside, it's yucky, dreary. There we go. Seal that. Let's say double bagged. And there's 2 more meals. So what's that? Now we're up to 5. And we have been under 30 minutes, so still under an hour. And we have 2 more recipes. Next, let's do my white chicken chili is not chicken noodle, savory beef, taco soup. Oh, here it is. White chicken chili. We'll use the other bag. Now this one is not separated. We're going to do it in the same bag. I've got another 2 pounds of chicken, and we're going to use 2 cans of diced green chilies, something that I usually keep on hand. So many uses for those. And 2 cans of Great Northern and 1 small onion. Let's see what we're going to do with this onion. We're going to chop it using the food chopper. Now I'm going to show y'all this super cool new Flex Prep tool. Not sure if I said all that right, but it's pretty impressive. I've never had an electric food processor. I've had the manual food processor, and I pretty much do everything with this food chopper. This is one of our top selling products, and some of you probably have our food chopper. Let me know if you do. But this is our Flex tool. This is the power tool in the kitchen. Now, I've referred to a lot of things as power tools, knives being one of them. My Rock Crock, I use that as a power tool. My air fryer, my quick cooker, my blender, I think all of those are power tools. But this really is, because it's ran with a battery just like my husband's power tools. How cool is that? I'm gonna drop in. It does have a chute. Put this on. Put the battery in. It's got a safety switch. I'll push that first. And then, let's go. How about that? Same thing as the food chopper. You can make that as little, as fine, as pulverized as you'd like. Now, also with this comes an attachment for a hand mixer, as well as an attachment, let me grab, let's see how to use this one. An attachment for a immersion blender, and then it comes with a couple of beaters. Just a regular beater and then a whisk, set of whisk blade beaters. There are 3 different blades that goes with the food processor part. You can slice or you can grate, which is what I use to grate my cheese. But how cool is that? I'm gonna go ahead and give this a whirl. We'll need this in our other recipes. The other recipe is taco soup. So I'll go ahead and add this to it. Now, I don't know if I mentioned, but it comes with, I'm pretty excited about this tool. So I may repeat myself a couple times, but it comes with 2 batteries. So you can keep one charging all the time. And if one does run down, they're supposed to last 30 minutes. I've not run one down completely yet. But I just keep one charged on my handy to drop in whenever I need it. Make it go a little bit faster because there's a speed here. And here it's speeding up. Or slower. How cool is that? I'm thrilled. I'm sure some of you y'all probably already have a food processor and know how wonderful they are. But my first rodeo and I love it. Now this is actually one of the things you could get for 60% off by hosting a party in January. January, guys, is double free product month, so you can also get double free when your party qualifies. So if you're interested at all in doing a party, let me know. Grabbing some of that. Okay, back to our recipe. This is lightning too, so I'm sure you can hear that. A wee bit distracting, but it's just a little winter storm. It'll be fine. Our green chilies, diced green chilies. I'm using mild. You can add the heat if you'd like. My family loves the hotter ones, but they indulge me and let me get mild. Since I'm the cook, they have to let them cook. They can have Tabasco at the table. Okay. Now our Great Northern beans, white kidneys, cannellini, they are also going to be undrained. So we're just going to dump them in here with our chicken and the veggies. White chicken chili is probably one of my favorite soups too. I'm probably going to say that about every soup because I love soup. But you'll cook this all day and you'll notice that the breasts are whole. By the end of the day, you just run your mix and chop or just 2 forks, however you shred your meats. So good, so good. Serve it with Fritos if you'd like, or cornbread. We're also adding, on cook day, we're also gonna add chicken broth. Now, if you are watching your sodium content, you'll drain and rinse these. That'll take a little bit of sodium out of your menu. I love canned beans. I keep canned black beans on hand. They're so versatile. You can use them from everything from omelets, scramble them in a breakfast burrito, to adding, beefing up that You know, use less beef and add a can of less ground beef and add a can of those black beans to make that beef stretch. I think I've started a couple of times saying that you can also add chopped carrot, chopped veggie, chopped zucchini, any kind of chopped veggie. Okay, and this is our chicken chili base, ready to go in a second bag. It is thunder and lightning. Raining like crazy out there. I'm sure the lab is shivering somewhere. The lab is terrified of bad weather. Squeeze out all the air. Give it another zip. For our final menu, so it's going to be 8, we're going to do 2 bags of taco soup. Now back here, I don't know if you can see this, I'll bring it closer. I have already cooked our ground chuck. And this is really more chuck than we need. I always cook chuck in bulk because you can just stick it in another freezer bag, and now you've got this part done if you're going to do spaghetti, if you're going to do tacos, or anything you want to do the ground beef for. Already cooked down. Now you can chop up a couple of carrots. Used to, for every pound of ground beef I cooked, 2 carrots, an onion, garlic. You can put all of that in there and cook it together before you ever put it in the freezer. Now, if you don't have this in your kitchen, you gotta get this. This is our mix and chop, and give us a shout out. Let us know that you love it if you already have one. Most people have 2. That zips through that ground beef like nobody's business. Like always, guarantee that you'll love it. If you, for some reason, get it and you don't, and I've had one person take me up on this, I will buy it back from you. And she admitted that her way was not any better. She just liked her way. It was her way, and she was going to continue to do it her way. So that was fine. I bought it back from her. Okay, this other thing I have here is the scoop and drain. So you know, if you're cooking ground beef, you're gonna get some drain off. You're gonna have to drain it. Even ground chuck, you're gonna have to drain somewhat. I usually mix my ground beef with ground deer. I did not thaw that out, so this is just ground chuck, but there's still a little bit of drain off. So the scoop and drain is perfect for that. Let me just make sure. Now that we have a pound, let's see. Well, I guess I should change the recipe here. Still reading. 1.5 pounds. So this is going to be 3/4 of a pound per bag. I'll just make sure that that's what we have. Now, if you want to get rid of even more of that beef, fat. Remember, fat equals flavor, so you want a little bit of fat in there, but you can rinse it. You can rinse the beef with hot water, and that'll drain off even more of that fat. Okay. And of course, after you cook it, you have way less. You might start with 5 pounds, but you're not going to end up with 5 pounds. This vessel that I'm using here is our wok. It's our stainless steel wok. It is a non-stick stainless steel. We have the scale. You see the non-stick surface there. So you can cook with the high heat of stainless and still enjoy that non-stick performance. Move on. We need dry ranch dressing. This is the key to all taco soups. And I'm going to use my little petite easy read measurer just to see how much we have in here, because it's kind of hard to guess in this. So this is almost 2 tablespoons. Let's see how much more we have. Same thing, almost. So it must be about a tablespoon and a half. Half that equally. And also in this is going our Tex-Mex rub, tablespoon in each bag. You can use this as taco seasoning if you're making tacos, enchiladas. I love this. I put it in meatloaf. It's got a little bit of a cinnamon kick. Now, I love it. If you do not like cinnamon, I recommend chipotle. We also have a Southwestern seasoning that is fabulous. Okay, our onion, this is gonna go half in each bag. It's off. And chopped fine. I'll put half in one bag and half in the other. I hope you guys can hear me over the storm. I have the window open in the dining room to let it get a little breezy in here. Just why the back door slammed. Okay. This part can go in the dishwasher. This part you want to wipe down with a soft cloth. No submersion. Okay, now. We need pintos, we need kidney beans, we need crushed tomatoes. That's the big can of crushed tomatoes, the 28 ounce, Rotel, and I've shorted myself on corn. Let's see if I have another can. We'll have to use the frozen corn for this. Excuse me real quick. Improvising. Shortened myself on 1 can of corn. Okay, so the Rotel, or the diced tomatoes with green chilies, I'm using Food Club brand. I do like that brand. That's the off-brand at Brookshire's. Most of their items I do like. Some things I'm a little bit snobby on brand names, but not all things. These are fabulous. Just like Rotel in my opinion. Don't tell the Rotel people that. This is the pinto beans. I'm putting half. Undrained. Also, all of these are going to be undrained. Half in each one. And like I say, as before, if for whatever reason you're watching sodium content, rinse the beans. Half in one, half in the other. Now, if you've noticed this pretty blue bowl, I do love Tupperware, but this is not a Tupperware bowl. This is ours, so new bowl that we launched, the fall launch. I think it's so pretty. The dark red kidney beans. So we found that you don't want to use your hand mixer in glass bowls. And of course, a lot of our bowls are glass. We do have the stainless steel set, but our classic mixing bowl is glass. If you haven't, it may look a little different than this. We redesigned it a few years back. You may have the old one. You know that it's dishwasher safe. It's oven safe. It's freezer safe. Comes with a lid. But no hand mixing in it. Don't use your hand mixer in it because it chips away. I did not realize that your mixer will chip away at glass bowls over a period of use. So we added our plastic bowl. So EPA free nylon blend bowl to the lineup. Love it. But I have a fetish about bowls. I don't know why. I just do love bowls. All bowls half. A little more. And one, half in the other. Let me know what the weather's doing at your home when you watch this video. And finally, the corn. You can have taco soup without corn. So I'm just going to use my Easy Read measuring cup and put a cup in each bag because this is a pretty big bag of corn. Now, if you don't have our Easy Reads, I mean, see this slanted and the numbers are back here, so it's easily read. Cup in this other bag. Comes in a set of 3. There's a 4-cup size, which that's where I had the cheese in. I use this as much for a mixing bowl. As you can see, it's been used quite a bit. And then 2-cup size, the 1 cup, and then also that petite, the petite cup that does tablespoons and ounces, teaspoons. This back here, out the way. And that is our last 2 meals. How much was that? So it's been 46 minutes. It looks like this video is going to be about an hour. If you're still watching, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the view, because every time somebody views it, that's a good thing. I don't really know what the good thing is, but apparently it's a good thing. I appreciate it. Especially if you share it with your friends. Okay. It's all mixed up. And that gives us 2 more meals. We're also adding on cook day, we're adding some beef broth to this. You can serve this with fritters also. Sprinkle of cheese on top, maybe some sour cream. Love taco soup. Put our directions in here. Now that gives us a total of 8 freezer meals ready to go, ready to dump in. If you do have our rock crop, it can go right into the microwave. There's going to be a couple of different options on the instructions card for that day. So you can microwave it, or you can slow cook it all day. Entirely up to you. Okay. So, if I could share with you a couple of other things, I want to show you my favorite new product. I showed you the wok. This, I love, absolutely love. This is our new skillet, part of our Lifetime line. Square. It's square, so you actually have a griddle. All of our nonstick cookware, the handles are removable, so it's easier to stack. It is dishwasher safe, but it cleans up so easily, I just usually hand wash it. It comes with this steam mat or basket. This can also be a trivet, but say you're cooking your ground beef underneath, you could steam your broccoli or your green beans on top, or you can just use it as a steamer basket. It's pretty handy. I've done my taco meat down below, and I've just laid my flour tortillas on the top to heat those up while they're going, while the meat's cooking. And then your glass lid, of course, lets you easily see what's cooking inside. I love this skillet. I'd love to help you get this skillet. So, if you guys have any questions, there will be a way to contact me down in the description or the comments. And like I say, find me on Facebook at Meal Prep 101. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. AskYouAcres@yahoo.com. I'd love to answer any of your kitchen questions. If I don't have them, I'm sure Pampered Chef does, and they love to be stumped because they love to come up with solutions for our problems in the kitchen. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your weekend, whenever it is that you're watching this. Appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.